back in May.
And a 10th person has died in custody at the Fulton County Jail in Georgia this year.
Yeah, 24.
Just ahead, jump at the pump. Gas prices are shocking many right now. We're going to take a look at the reason behind this sudden hike. Plus, farmers have now been dealing with dry conditions for years. We'll take you into some area fields to hear about the concern. And back to school is looking different on Iowa University campuses. Fewer students are enrolling. Your news at noon starts now.
Live from your local news leader, this is KTTC News.
Good afternoon, I'm Jess Abrahamson. First today at noon, the nation's top leader in education is in our area today. U.S. Secretary of Education Miguel Cardona is bringing his back-to-school bus tour to Minnesota. This morning, he was at John Marshall High School. He was greeted by Rochester school staff, local health leaders, and U.S. Senator Tina Smith before touring the school and taking part in a roundtable discussion that highlighted John Marshall as a community school. Mental health is a focus of this visit.
We know the ratios across the country are too high. 500 students to one counselor, that's not going to cut it. And we know too, the research shows us students are 6 times more likely to get mental health support if they're provided in school versus getting it in their community. This is a home away from home.
Cardona is also visiting Rosemount and St. Paul. Today, we are learning that Iowa's public university campuses just aren't as crowded as they once were. All 3 public universities have seen a downward trend in enrollment over the last decade, and this follows a national trend, which saw a 15% decline in total college enrollment across the country. Since 2017, the University of Iowa, Iowa State, and the University of Northern Iowa are down a staggering number of students, between 2,000 and 6,000. UNI did report a slight uptick in enrollment this fall, but many students say college doesn't hold the same appeal because of the pandemic and rising tuition.
As it climbs higher, that is a real barrier to access for a lot of people, especially if they don't offer enough scholarships, or it's hard to find those scholarships that will help you get to where you need to go.
In-state tuition for Iowa Regent universities went up about 3.5% this year, equating to about $300. In an effort to attract more students, colleges like UNI have found success with transfers. They've made it easier for community college grads to earn a bachelor's degree. That program has seen a 40% increase in enrollment. Today, Governor Walz is asking Minnesotans to honor late former Governor Al Quie. His son says he died of natural causes at his home on August 18th at the age of 99. Walz has ordered flags at all state buildings to fly at half-staff today through sunset tomorrow in his memory. Former Governor Quie will also lie in state until 3 this afternoon at the state capitol. He was known for working across the aisle as both governor and a congressman. He represented our area, the 1st Congressional District, in the U.S. House from 1958 to 1979, and he ran for governor in 1978 and won. Let's talk weather now as we're inching closer to the weekend. David Burgett is in for Ted out on the weather patio. How are things feeling, David?
Hey, Jess. Yeah, it's quite a change of pace than what we saw from this morning. We did see a lot of patchy fog out through Rochester and a lot of our live cameras today, early this morning. And now it's kind of changed, and it's changed all the way to sunshine right now out here on the weather patio. And it's currently 68 degrees in Rochester. All that sun is shining, and we do have winds coming out of the northeast at 6 miles per hour, and it's not too humid with dew points in the lower 50s. Across the region, we can see temperatures into the mid to upper 60s and lower 60s in Decorah at 63, and then we have Owatonna at 66 and Dodge Center at 64. All clear besides some cloud coverage that's moved on off into our east towards western Wisconsin right now. Other than that, our next weather maker will be coming into play tomorrow night into this weekend. So for that low pressure system sitting off near Bismarck, that's going to be making its way through. And if you're out today, expect some sunny conditions and a little bit of clouds in there. Mostly sunshine, 73 degrees, and the winds coming out of the north. And a little sneak peek at your weekend right there. We are going to see some rain coming in on Sunday. So that's just, I'm going to track all that out for you and more in my full forecast. So lots of nice weather for this weekend so far, Jess.
Yeah, looking forward to that. Thank you, David. A 3-year-long drought is threatening farmers and cornfields across Minnesota. John Lauritsen is taking a look at the concerns right in our own backyard.
You can go 2 miles and have guys that were catching rain events all year, and then people that haven't had rain in 2 months.
Near the town of Elgin, seed dealers from Minnesota and Wisconsin have gathered to talk crops and Mother Nature. They're comparing notes on what grows best in a drought.
Hybrids and varieties that are tolerant to dry weather overall. We're back-to-back years in southeast Minnesota, western Wisconsin. Overall has been very dry.
When it comes to rain, experts say it's best to look at it like a bank. There are a lot of rain deposits in the springtime, but now there's a serious deficit. No one is feeling that more than farmers near Rochester, where many fields haven't seen significant rainfall in a month.
The precipitation pretty much just stopped for several weeks. We've gotten about 10 inches of rainfall this summer, so that's quite low.
It's about half of what they normally see. Ryan Miller of University of Minnesota Extension says last week's extreme heat with overnight lows in the 80s was a major blow, and it may have caused some cornfields to shut down weeks ahead of time.
It looks like we fast forwarded from August to October.
While he says some of these fields could be harvested already, the yield won't be good. Any rain they get from here on out will help next year's crop, not this one.
Certainly this is the worst I've ever seen it as far as drought conditions and stress that the crop's been under all year.
You may want to keep an eye out for some suspicious emails. A new scam has emerged. This after a Rochester resident recently almost fell victim. Ross Torgerson tells us he got an email saying he paid for a Norton Life subscription. He called the email, there was a phone number listed in it, and spoke with someone who attempted to have him enter his personal information to fix the issue. However, he grew suspicious of the caller and did not share his data.
And he popped up a screen that said Social Security number, and at that second I remember all the PSAs for us seniors to say the minute somebody asks, don't give them your Social Security. And then I said, this is a scam.
Torgerson says he did get locked out of his computer after not entering his personal information. He took it to Best Buy to have it fixed, but learned this was the second instance of this scam these workers had seen that very day. Thankfully, he avoided losing any money or his identity, and he's now encouraging others to be cautious about this kind of scam. A local fire department has some state funds coming their way. The Rushford Fire Department is getting a $2,000 grant. This is through the Minnesota Energy Resources Rewarding Responders Grant Program. 4 other departments in the state received the $2,000 grant. Rushford Fire Department will use the money to buy new battery-powered extrication equipment. Minnesota Energy Resources has donated more than $95,000 through its grant program. The 3rd annual Downtown River Cleanup is underway in Rochester. The Clean and Safe Ambassador team, Rochester Downtown Alliance staff, and volunteers from Bolander are working together to remove debris and graffiti. Last summer, during this event, the group collected 11 bags worth of litter, 3 pieces of rebar, countless plastic grocery bags, and large debris like a construction cone and a storm drain grate. Tomorrow, you can spend some time enjoying the great outdoors with the latest free state park stay. We love these. The Minnesota DNR will be waiving vehicle permit fees at all 75 state parks. The goal is to encourage families just to spend time together and explore all the great nature Minnesota has to offer, and maybe even recharge from the stresses of everyday life. The DNR says most Minnesotans live within 30 miles of one of these recreation areas. The final fee-free day for this year will be on Friday, November 24th. Just ahead, what is going on with gas prices? We're going to look into that sudden jump at the pump. First, we're going to take you to Blooming Prairie, where the fight against cancer goes on the auction block, and the entire community is a part of a big weekend effort to find a cure. The community of Blooming Prairie is coming together to help raise money for the fight against cancer. Starting tonight, Blooming Prairie Cancer Group will host its 22nd annual auction. Back in 2001, the original founder was inspired to create a group in her community after she saw the impact of the Eagles Cancer Telethon, an event we've helped to put on for nearly 70 years. The first year, the Blooming Prairie Group raised about $1,700. Today, more than 20 years later, they've raised more than $1 million. This weekend is their biggest fundraiser of the year. The auction starts tonight at 7 under the big tent outside of the Q Company. It starts back up Saturday at 4:30 with family bingo and then an auction at 7. There's also raffle tickets and t-shirts available for purchase. In addition to raising money for the telethon and Hormel Institute, they've also created a community fund. That's money going directly to people in Blooming Prairie who are battling cancer.
We help with gas cards, driving to and from appointments. We help with parking passes. We have helped before build a wheelchair ramp for a lady who needed a wheelchair. You know, just anything we can to help that insurance won't help.
Great ways to make a difference. And this is the Field of Flags for this year's Paint the Town Pink. It's set up along Highway 218. Last month, the volleyball and football teams came by to help put out all of these flags. Each flag is flown in honor of someone who's bravely battled cancer. We do have a programming note to share with you. KTTC, KXLT, and all of our sub-channels will be going off the air overnight. So starting at 1:05 a.m., our station will be off air for scheduled maintenance. You'll still be able to get news and weather through our KTTC News app and our weather app. If you don't have those downloaded, they are free in your smartphone's app store. If you've been out and about, chances are you've noticed a significant jump in gas prices. In Rochester, some stations are at $3.89 a gallon, others are at $4.09. We did reach out to Gas Buddy to learn more about why this sudden and extreme price hike. Their experts told us late season refinery issues ahead of the switch to winter gasoline are causing the freeze. We're going to dig more into gas prices and what you can expect in the weeks to come tonight on KTTC. It is not fun to pay more for gas. Here's David Burgett with more on our Friday.
All right, we do have another weather maker coming through, but today is going to be very, very nice. That next weather maker is going to be coming through on Saturday night into Sunday for some rain. But here is a look now at your farm markets.
Missed part of our newscast? KTTC has...
From KTTC, this is a First Alert weather update.
We are so close to the weekend, and David said overall it's going to be a good one. There's even some chances for rain later on, which we desperately need.
Yes, we desperately do need that rain because we are in like an exceptional drought in some portions of southeastern Minnesota. But right now we are pretty calm. That rain is going to come later though, Jess, into this weekend. But earlier today, this morning, we even had some fog rolling out through, patchy fog through Rochester and overlooking Signal Hill on our live cameras this morning when I was here with Ted. And that's all cleared out now with lots of sunshine. Even over here at Lake City, it's very nice with some mostly sunny skies. And that's going to be the story for today. And right now, it's 68 degrees here in Rochester. And then the dew point right now is into the lower 50s. So it's looking very nice and very comfortable, not too humid. And temperatures around the region are sitting similar to Rochester into the upper 60s and lower 70s, 72 in Austin, 68 in Forest City, and just 65 in Zumbrota there in Goodhue County. All that cloud coverage this morning and all that fog has now pushed off to our east, and our next weather maker will be coming into Saturday night, into Sunday, and it's going to be this low pressure system sitting over here in North Dakota that's going to swoop on down through tomorrow night and into Sunday, bringing some much needed rain. But first, today is looking very nice. That cloud coverage today has dissipated, like I said, and lots of sunshine to go around with a high today and into the mid to lower 70s, around 74 degrees. So like I said, those showers are going to come into Saturday evening into Sunday, and then next week we're going to see those sunny and seasonal temperatures and those fall-like temperatures sticking around for a little bit longer, which is good. We break from the heat. So right now across the region, temperatures into the lower 60s this afternoon. Wind directions are going to be out of the northeast right now, and then they're out of the northeast right now, and temperatures will be into the mid to lower 70s today across the region. And now you can notice that the wind speeds now have changed from the direction of northeast to southeast, and that's what's going to drive all these showers to come through tomorrow evening. The future track right now is indicating that these stray to isolated showers will be coming through on Saturday evening, and most of that will be coming through even through tomorrow evening into Sunday morning and all the way through Sunday too. So this is the timing of it again, 5 to 6 it'll start, really pick up around 7 to 1 a.m. and that's going to continue into Sunday. Those isolated showers, and hopefully this will be good for us because we are in an exceptional drought here, at least in Austin, for our latest drought monitor update that was released on Thursday, and much of us are in an extreme drought too along southeastern Minnesota. I'm anticipating that we'll pick up a little less than 1/4 of an inch, so it might help, but I'm not anticipating it'll be a dramatic decrease in the drought. So it's sunny and calm for today, 74 degrees, north winds at 6 miles per hour. And then tomorrow we have those isolated showers starting in the evening, but through tomorrow morning through the afternoon until about 4 or 5, we'll be pretty nice with some sunshine and building cloud coverage other than that front coming through. So other than that, we have a nice week in store for us with temperatures into the actually 60s for next week, which is looking very seasonable and very nice for this time of year and all for fall weather. No 90s anymore, no 80s currently right now. So I'm liking it.
Yes, get out that pumpkin spice and embrace the changing seasons here.
Get out of flannel. Why not?
There you go. Thank you, David. Well, many people have been missing rain in our area, and the sweet smell that comes with it. We're going to look into why that scent is so special in our Moment of Science. Did you know there is a word for the scent of summer rain? Dan Smith is exploring why Earth smells so fresh after a good rinse cycle in our Moment of Science.
Water is the lifeblood of nature, and there's something that just clicks in your brain when you smell fresh fallen rain in the summertime. This week we're exploring the how and why behind one of the season's most common outdoor scents, besides burning burgers on the barbecue. Plants produce a bunch of different chemicals and compounds, and during a dry spell, those accumulate in rocks and soil. A special class of bacteria called actinomycetes really like those compounds and have actually been used to create some commercial antibiotics. Those bacteria also produce a molecule called geosmin, and when raindrops hit the soil, that scent is released into the atmosphere. The human nose is remarkable, and we'll get to that in a later episode, but you can actually detect that geosmin scent at as low a concentration as 5 parts per trillion. For reference, a shark can only start smelling blood in the water at about 1 part per million. By the way, geosmin is also what gives beets their earthy flavor and helps camels find sources of water in hot desert oases. In 1964, Australian researchers coined the term for this rainy, earthy scent, petrichor, from the ancient Greek petra, meaning rock, and ichor, blood of the gods. That telltale scent might as well be from the gods after a dry spell, but it may not come from the rain alone. Lightning is so powerful that it splits oxygen and nitrogen molecules in the atmosphere, which then forms nitric oxide and ozone. It's possible that a part of that smell is ozone wafting downwind or being carried out by raindrops from the storm. There's also another thing called volatile plant oils that are really just fatty acids released by the soil, though the main culprit is still believed to be that geosmin. Something to think about when you take in a relaxing rain shower on a summer's day. Or not so relaxing. For this week's Moment of Science, I'm Dan Smith.
Interesting. Well, here's what we're whipping up next in the kitchen.
Years ago, I got a recipe from my grandmother that I want to share with you. And the timing couldn't be better, since this weekend is Grandparents' Day.
Held over by.
In case you didn't realize it, this Sunday is Grandparents' Day, a day set aside to celebrate our mom and dad's mom and dad. While you're coming up with ways to make them feel extra special, why not take a few extra minutes to learn something from them? This was something I did with my grandmother Rose before she passed away. I asked her to share a few of her favorite recipes with me so that they could live on as part of her legacy. She did, and now I want to share one of them with you. It's her noodle pudding, or as we call it, kugel, and boy is it good. She told me how she made it and how much pleasure she got from serving it to her family. Then my grandmother let me in on what her secret ingredient was. It's lots of TLC. For those of you who aren't familiar with noodle pudding, it might sound a bit odd, but think of it as a really tasty bread pudding, only made with noodles instead of bread. To get the recipe for our best ever noodle pudding, all you have to do is visit our website. I'm Howard in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we found a grandmotherly way for you to say, ooh, it's so good.
I've never heard of noodle pudding. Have you, David?
I don't think I have either. Just figgy pudding, I guess? Or
That I have heard of. And bread pudding.
Yeah.
Maybe something for us to try. We'll expand our horizons here in the kitchen. It looks nice and bright out there.
Yes, it does look very nice and bright out there, out here right now, and it is. We had some fog rolling in earlier this morning across Rochester, some patchy fog that is, but it's all cleared out right now. And we have a really nice day shaping up here, and that's going to be the story for today. It's 68 degrees, lots of sunshine, and not too humid at all, with dew points into the lower 50s. And across the region, temperatures are similar right now to Rochester, with into the lower 70s in Albert Lee and Forest City, 69 in northern Iowa and Mason City, and then up north, it is 70 degrees in Winona right now, and not much on the radar at the moment. All this cloud coverage and fog has dissipated, and the cloud coverage is pushing off to the east right now towards Wisconsin. Our next weather maker is going to be this low pressure system that's sitting off into North Dakota that will make its way through on Saturday evening. But for today, it's going to be 73 to 74 degrees if you are driving around today. Sunny and calm with a calm wind out of the north at 6 miles per hour, which is just great driving conditions if you ask me. This week in a sneak peek, you are going to see some rain coming in on Sunday and even Saturday night. I'm tracking all of that out in my full forecast, and I'm going to time it out for you too.
Plenty to talk about. Thank you, David. Just ahead, the excitement is building for Steam Engine Days this weekend. We're going to take you out to the fest grounds. And we do have an alert for Apple users why you may want to update your operating system now. We'll be right back.
People don't really realize how much of an impact the feet.
It is the biggest event of the year in Mabel. Last year it got rained out, but this year the Hesper Mabel Steam Engine Show is looking forward to hopefully some great weather. The tractors and antique engines are already in place, and so is our Cami Raisler.
It is steamy in Mabel. Hesper Mabel Steam Engine Days are underway. The fun began yesterday, and there's still a lot to come today into Sunday. We have Steve Harmon here right beside his steam engine. How are you?
Good, thank you.
It's great to see you.
I'm excited for Steam Engine Days this weekend.
Yes, so you live in Rochester, but you're kind of from this area.
That's right,
okay.
From Mabel.
And this is your baby here, your steam engine. It's kind of a hobby of yours to make this run.
That's right, to preserve it and keep it going and play with it one weekend out of the year.
So Friday, today, what can we expect today? I know there's two big parades coming up Saturday and Sunday, but what about today?
All right, today there's not any official activities, but we'll be doing some thrashing in the field over here.
Ooh, okay.
Most of this afternoon, and then getting ready for tomorrow and Sunday.
So do we have tractors pulling the thrashing machines, or do we have steam engines?
Steam engines.
Okay, so that will be exciting. Learn a little bit of the history of harvesting?
Harvesting, yes, that's right.
Okay.
Thrashing oats, where we're removing the grain from the stalks and the chaff.
Okay, so the old version of combining, sort of?
That's right. That's right. Part of combining.
Okay, so they can check you out, though, in the parade on Saturday and Sunday?
That's right. Saturday and Sunday, we'll be here and doing activities all afternoon each day.
Okay, and we can't forget, we have a very, very special, I don't know, do I call it a piece of equipment, a musical instrument, a calliope?
We can call it a musical instrument.
Okay.
And I'd like to hear someone play it.
Okay, I mean, I can try. How many keys are on there? There's like
32.
32 keys, so it's not a normal piano. It's a calliope. So I'll play a little tune as we send it back to the studio, but this runs off steam as well.
That's right, and I'd like to tell you that tomorrow, Saturday at 10:30, there's going to be 2 expert calliopists here.
Good.
A rare combination of 2 people coming together at once.
That's
so
impressive.
At 10:30 to 11:30, we're having a special calliope concert tomorrow.
Okay, looking forward to that because you want to hear a real musician play, not me. I can play Mary Had a Little Lamb, so I'll play us out here.
Cami is always up to something fun. We just love her. There is live music every night at the Lions Beer Garden. Tonight you can enjoy the Corey Farley Band. Corey is actually from Decorah. He gained national recognition while on tour with Alan Jackson. Apple users, listen up. The company is urging iPhone and iPad owners to update their operating systems immediately. Apple has issued an update that fixes a vulnerability that hackers may already be exploiting. It was discovered by the Citizen Lab at the University of Toronto. The security flaw exists in iOS 16.6.1. Experts say iPhone and iPad owners should immediately go to the Settings menu on their devices, select General, and then Software Update. Tap Install Now to begin that process. Food insecurity continues to be a global issue. Now millions of people, particularly in one country overseas, will be losing access to warm meals. Here's our Ag Day Minute.
I'm Clinton Griffiths with today's Ag Day Minute. The World Food Program says it's having to cut assistance to 10 million people. Now, it said it had to cut food assistance to 2 million in Afghanistan alone this month. And that brings the total number of Afghans who have lost its assistance this year to 10 million people. Leaders say it's due to a massive funding shortfall, and it's reported the program is often the last lifeline for women with dwindling options for making a living and feeding their children. The organization says it needs $1 billion over the next 6 months in order to feed those in need. Now, last year, 650,000 Americans, over 80, were still working. The Census Bureau says that's up 18% from the previous decade. It reports there will be twice as many 75-year-old plus workers in the year 2030 than in the year 2020. The Bureau of Labor Statistics says that's due in part to the aging baby boomer generation. And check out what a 7-year-old girl dug up in Arkansas. That's a nearly 3-carat golden brown diamond. Aspen Brown spent her birthday at Crater of Diamonds State Park, where visitors are allowed to search for and keep a variety of rocks, minerals, and even diamonds. Park officials say it was probably unearthed when a contractor dug a trench. They say it was the second biggest diamond discovered this year. For more Ag News, watch Ag Day weekdays on the station or anytime over at agweb.com.
Ag Day Minute brought to you by Jen Bush. Your experience.
Live from KTTC, this is a First Alert weather update.
Good afternoon, meteorologist David Burgett here. We are shaping up today after some fog has moved and dissipated on out of here in Olmsted County with some more sunnier skies at 68 degrees and some lower dew points that are making it very nice around the area. So take a look now also at our regional temperatures across southeastern Minnesota and northern Iowa into the upper 60s and lower 70s. A little warmer here off to the west at Albert Lee at 70 and Forest City in the northern Iowa at 72 degrees and then Owatonna at 70 degrees as well. All clear across the radar besides all this cloud coverage from this morning that's been being pushed off towards western Wisconsin, and we do have our next weather maker that is going to be this low pressure system that's going to be slowly sliding on through tomorrow night and into Sunday, bringing some showers, but all really nice for our temperature outlook for today, peaking at 74 degrees with some calm winds at northeast at 4 miles per hour and lots of sunshine throughout today, making it for some very nice conditions. But like I said, we do, after we make it through today, we do have these showers that are come through with that cold front and low pressure system tomorrow evening. evening and into Sunday. But after we make it through all that rain, we will going to have seasonal and sunny temperatures for next week. So tracking this out for you, winds today are out of the northeast right now. Temperatures sitting into the lower 70s. We are going to see that winds change through tonight, with temperatures changing into tomorrow morning to the lower 60s, mid to lower 60s across the area. And like I said, that wind speed is going to change from the northeast into the southeast right now, bringing up our temperatures and adding more moisture into our atmosphere, which is going to fire off these isolated stray showers tomorrow evening around 5, and that's going to continue through the evening hours until midnight, with some more of a cluster here of these isolated cells that might just break up, I'm anticipating, into tomorrow night and into Sunday evening for these isolated showers and potential for a thunderstorm. This might help us too with the drought. We are in the latest drought monitor that's been issued on Thursday for an extreme for most of southeastern Minnesota and northern Iowa, and then for an exceptional drought here in Austin, where Freeborn and Mower counties are. So I'm anticipating us to get less than 1/4 of an inch with this next system coming through, so it might help the drought. But for today we have sunny and calm conditions, and for tomorrow we do have those storms that are going to be rolling through, those isolated showers to potential for a thunderstorm is what I mean. And for tomorrow, with the winds coming out of the south at 7 miles per hour, and the rest of the week is looking fairly nice after we make it through Saturday and Sunday for our weekend. But overall, I don't think this is a bad start to our fall here in Rochester. No, it's not officially fall yet for another 15 days, but you always can get a jump start on it, right?
That's right. A lot of people, this is their favorite kind of weather all year long.
Yeah, I mean, if only we could live in a perfect climate like this.
We won't complain. Thank you, David. Minnesota Vikings fans are gearing up for the home opener Sunday, and President Biden steps onto the world stage at the G20 summit. We're going to tell you about the big meetings he's having there. Today, President Biden arrives in India for the G20 summit. The president will meet face-to-face with leaders of the world's largest economies. NBC's Bree Jackson is in Washington with more.
President Biden arriving in India for this year's G20 summit. The White House says reforming the World Bank and helping developing countries invest in climate change, as well as infrastructure projects, are top of mind. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen previewing the president's priorities ahead of the meeting.
We're committed to supporting emerging markets in developing countries and to addressing global challenges.
The economic impact of the war in Ukraine is also on the agenda. The G20 has been divided over this conflict. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken was in Kyiv this week, showing strong support for efforts to fend off Russian aggression.
If we allow that to go forward with impunity, then you open a Pandora's box, and it's a recipe for conflict around the world. Would-be aggressors say, hey, the Russians can do it, I can do it. That's not a world that Americans want to live in.
On Capitol Hill, lawmakers are debating whether to provide more funding for Ukraine.
What is the point in cutting off support now when we're at a turning point in the war? Inflection point.
I think I need to see progress on our own border security before I'll support any type of funding for Ukraine.
During the G20 summit, President Biden is expected to call for a peaceful resolution to the war. After the G20 summit, President Biden is scheduled to travel to Vietnam and meet with leaders there in an effort to strengthen economic ties between the two nations. In Washington, Bree Jackson, NBC News.
The Fulton County Grand Jury report released today lists 21 additional people recommended for indictment in Georgia's 2020 presidential election interference case. Judge Robert McBurney, who presided over the panel for the special purpose grand jury investigation, ordered last week that the report be made public. Among those listed but not charged by DA Fannie Willis include U.S. Senator Lindsey Graham of South Carolina, former Georgia U.S. Senators David Perdue and Kelly Loeffler. The special purpose grand jury can only submit its findings to the district attorney, who then decides whether or not to present to a grand jury for criminal charges. Last month, a grand jury heard evidence in the case and charged Trump and 18 others on RICO charges and numerous conspiracy charges. All defendants have pleaded not guilty. The NFL season is now officially underway. Week 1's game for the Vikings is on Sunday. The team hosts the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at US Bank Stadium in Minneapolis. Last year, the offense really shined, but coming into 2023, there will be some different weapons out on the outside. Longtime player Adam Thielen is gone, and rookie Jordan Addison is in. Minnesota took Addison with the 23rd overall pick in the NFL draft.
Just keeping in the head that he doesn't really need to fulfill the role of Adam, like we've been saying. We just need him to be himself. What we've seen in practice, the plays that he made in practice, he fits right in. So it's just all about not letting the lights get too bright for him on that field. And of course, we're all going to be behind him, cheering him on. And of course, we have the best fan base to cheer him on also.
Quarterback Kirk Cousins will look to get the year started off right this Sunday. Kickoff set for noon. The Vikings are 5.5-point favorites. It is Football Friday as well, and our Midwest Access team has been having fun with many of our local schools. Our Cami Raisler is a very busy lady. She's in Stewartville now with what we can expect this afternoon.
Hey, yes, it's time again for another Midwest tailgate. It's something we're doing new this year, and tonight we will be in Stewartville. You can join us from 4 to 5 live in Stewartville, a big 3A, 4A matchup, Stewartville taking on Cass and Manorville tonight. We look forward to that, and Midwest Tailgate will be running through mid-October, so we will be at different fields tailgating before the big game throughout the season, different schools in our region. So it's something new we're trying, and we are having so much fun. We'll have good food. We'll show you some of the best pickup trucks to tailgate in for all your tailgating needs, and we'll be chatting with coaches, players, cheerleaders, fans, and anyone who wants to come out and join us for the big tailgate. Again, we'll be live in Stewartville tonight. You can join us on Midwest Access, a Midwest tailgate version of Midwest Access tonight, this afternoon, from 4 to 5. I'll send it back to you.
Thank you, Cami, and what a great day for that. It's going to be so much fun. When we return, a little panda party to round out the week. We'll be right back.
This house is built into the side of a mountain.
A giant panda in a facility in Japan celebrates a big birthday. The panda named Ruhin turned 23 at Adventure World in Southwest Japan. She got an icy treat and her favorite bamboo to celebrate. The very special animal is the first giant panda that was born at Adventure World. She's mothered 10 cubs. She's been busy. Turns out panda years work a little like dog years. She's actually considered to be about 70 in human years. So definitely something to celebrate there. Also, it is worth noting that our noon producer, Kendall Shears, pandas are one of her favorite animals, and it is Kendall's birthday this weekend. We absolutely adore her. She brings a bright light and special quality to our newsroom. So Kendall, happy birthday. And there's your panda present. Actually, we had something else for her earlier.
Yeah, so definitely this sounds like a birthday story for her, and like the panda celebrating her birthday, Kendall will be celebrating her birthday. And if you are celebrating anything this week, you're gonna have good weather after all this rain that comes through on Saturday and Sunday for some isolated showers. And it can't rule out a possibility of a thunderstorm, but after that, really nice temperatures and sunny skies with some clouds in there for next week.
Yes, we're talking about football and tailgating and all the good things, and that's the kind of weather you expect for that.
Yeah, definitely for Friday Night Lights.
Thank you, David. Have a great weekend, and don't forget that Midwest Access tailgating starting at 4 o'clock with Cami Raisler. It's always a good time with her. We'll be right back, or we'll be back Monday.
Quality.